Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, is kicking off today in Maryland. This year's theme is, quote, "Where Globalism Goes to Die." Donald Trump is speaking Saturday at the four-day conference, the same day as the South Carolina GOP primary. So for more on this, I want to bring in CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi. That theme is interesting, to say the least. Who will be attending this event?
Yeah, good morning, Anne-Marie. Thousands of people are expected to attend CPAC this year, which is kicking off today, including Donald Trump. And what's notable is that normally CPAC, when it's held during election years, this serves as a time for prospective candidates to go and make their pitch to these conservative folks who are going to this conference. It's typically in the thick of a primary season that is competitive for these prospective candidates to go and talk to conservatives. But not this year. Donald Trump is by and large running away with the nomination. As you saw Caitlin mention there, he'll be speaking at CPAC Saturday before going to South Carolina, where he's about 35 points ahead in the polls. So I expect that his messaging on Saturday will probably be one of unity for the Republican Party behind one message, which is Trump's message. It's part of this broader effort, really, and we saw this past week, of him appointing his senior advisors and his daughter-in-law to the RNC to make sure that the entire party is moving in lockstep with him towards this nomination that he can lock up by mid-March. So really, CPAC, I expect that to be more of a message of unity from the former president, making sure that the entire party is really coalescing around him going forward.
So Nikki Haley is actually not speaking at this year's CPAC. What can you tell us about her absence? I don't know, is her campaign sort of explaining why she's not going to be there?
I mean, it really goes to show how much things can change in Republican politics so quickly. She spoke at CPAC last year. She was one of the headline speakers, and now she's not even invited to speak. And what that tells me is it's part of this broader factioning issue between the GOP, between the quote-unquote globalists and the Make America Great Again, America First wing of the party. As you saw, the theme of this year is where globalism goes to die. And an issue that really highlights that difference is Ukraine funding. That is something where the quote-unquote globalist wing of the party wants to see more funding for Ukraine, whereas the America First wing of the party would rather not have that, wants to focus on issues here at home before turning towards Ukraine and helping allies for the U.S. So when you see things like where globalism goes to die, Nikki Haley is seen as the embodiment of that, and that's perhaps why she's not there this year.
So I know Elise Stefanik, I think, is speaking today. She's one of those names that Donald Trump kind of threw out there as a possible VP pick, but in true Hunger Games style, he threw out a bunch of different names. How could CPAC impact Trump's VP pick, and who seems to be vying for the spot?
Yeah, in a way, these speeches really serve as a good trial for these vice presidential candidates that Trump may be eyeing. As he likes to say, he wants someone from central casting. Part of that effort is really being able to talk to a large group of conservative voters, get them riled up, get them interested. I thought what was also notable last night in that Fox News town hall was he said Vivek Ramaswamy, the entrepreneur who was also running in 2024 before dropping out after the Iowa caucus, is going to be speaking, and he's headlining the Ronald Reagan dinner at CPAC. That's someone Donald Trump mentioned as he's thinking of for a vice presidential candidate, as well as Tim Scott, another person who will be speaking. So there's quite a few people who Trump has thrown out there as potential vice presidents who will be there this weekend. I'll be watching to see how the crowd responds to those people, something that Donald Trump will also, I'm sure, be focused on.
Definitely. Olivia Rinaldi, thank you so much, Olivia.